Devontae Adams says LeBron James would have been one of the best tight end / wide receivers of all time if he played football. No questions. We've had sort of this conversation before, and I thought, okay, it would be fun for us to maybe think of athletes who would actually be really good at a different sport, could possibly excel professionally in other sport.
LeBron loves this conversation because so long as he never tries, always like, oh yeah, I could have done that.
You know what really annoys me? These graphics got me with the scroll stop, like trending NFL logo.
You're getting NBA Centel too often now.
I've got like boomer brain on the internet. I'm just going to get destroyed by AI. You're like, dude, did you see that Barack Obama was boxing Russell Westbrook this way? Like,
you would have been a real problem back in the day when War of the Worlds hit the radio waves.
I would have been running out, freaking out, hitting my neighbors. I would have fallen for War of the Worlds. Okay, so with that being said, dude, I think we do our own list. Our top 5 athletes who we think could actually have some success in another sport. This is thrown around all the time. What do you make of it?
Yeah, lowest hanging fruit of all time. I get it. He's an insane athlete and once in a generation type guy. I mean, the size and his capabilities, like it's very, very difficult to ever point to somebody in any sport that kind of fulfills or checks all those boxes. So I say this is low-hanging fruit strictly because it's totally hypothetical, right?
Yes.
But the crazy thing is like there are other generations where there are athletes who have been prime and at top of their game. And yet, those ones that we always talk about actually did venture into other sports and test themselves and see. So you got the Bo Jacksons, you got the MJs, you got Deion Sanders. I mean, just those are a few. Tim Tebow.
Timmy.
So you got guys who have actually gone out there and tried. Granted, none of them went from, say, basketball or baseball to football.
Right.
They all went from football to other sports, which is more understandable because obviously football is so brutal on your body. This is just frustrating because you could talk about this in infinitum and never come to a decision. Whereas the other guys, at least they tested their mettle and they actually performed to a certain degree, some better than others, and showed their athleticism. But this one, I get the sense that LeBron loves this conversation because so long as he never tries, he's always the what if guy and always like, oh yeah, I could have done that.
Oh, it could have been a Hall of Fame, okay, so with that being said, dude, I think that it'd be fun if we kind of do our own list. Okay, so we've got our top 5 athletes who we think could actually have some success in another sport. All right. Okay. We've each got 5, right?
Yep.
Let's dive into it. We'll go back and forth. You do one, I do one, you do one. And maybe we'll, see if we agree with each other, see if we don't. You want to start us off?
No, I think as the host of the show, you should have the honors.
Well, no, see, here's the thing about being the host is you tee it up for the for the other guy. It's actually it's like being a host at home. Like you treat your guests as if it was their home. So you don't like my hospitality?
I will accept it.
Oh, okay.
Starting off on my list here, Aaron Judge. I put him on this list because I think with his body frame, he's 6'7", like 260, something like that. This is one of those guys that you look at and you're kind of baffled looking at him because you're like, either you should be in the roid era or what are you doing on the baseball field?
Right.
Because you should probably be not on the sidelines, on the football field right now as a tight end, catching those red zone touchdowns. He would be absolutely lethal down in the red zone. I think this guy has the physical capabilities to translate to an NFL game. Obviously, it would take him some time to get up to snuff, but he did play ball in high school, football. And ultimately, he just ended up deciding to go baseball because who can fault him? Those contracts are guaranteed. And also 2-3x what you would get as the best player in the NFL these days. So I can't fault him for going this direction. Longevity, clearly the guy is a mainstay. He's hit 30 as of yesterday or the day before, he hit 34 home runs. So he's just behind Big Dumper there in the all-star break lead of home runs.
Call him Big Dumper.
And on top of that, okay, so he's just churning through the years. I think he already at halftime of the baseball season, he has one of the top 5 best hitting seasons in MLB history leading into this. Don't quote me on that, but I get the sense that that's what's happening right now. Even going up against somebody like a Shohei Ohtani, head to head against another behemoth in his day and age. So I love Aaron Judge. I think he has the ability to translate to other sports, specifically football, at the tight end position.
Okay. All right. You know what? I wanna push back on that, but I I don't think I can, because I think I agree with you. I had no idea that he was before that he's 6'7", dude.
Yeah,
Like,
monster.
he's an absolute monster. I do think that he would be like kind of a beast in the red zone there. I would wonder just a little bit. I mean, because we never really see baseball players. We're not so often seeing them full out sprint. I mean, the clip that we were just showing him is him jogging around the bases after he hit a home run. I would wonder about that. But I do think just that frame is crazy. What? Hear me out. What do you think he could be like a forward in basketball also? I mean, that's a lot. I think it could be tougher.
I think early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, this basketball era, probably not.
Okay.
You know, I get the sense, because I when we were going over this list, I was considering guys like Myles Garrett playing basketball, because, you know, we've had the clips of him just yamming balls on the rim and just easily doing it.
True.
But at the end of the day, that frame, that body frame, it doesn't have necessarily the stamina, at least how I've viewed it, to play a full season of basketball into the playoffs and everything. I just don't think I don't think those things match as well. Yeah. And I see Aaron Judge as kind of that. Early 2000s though, both those guys could probably dominate, you know, because you look at Ben Wallace back in the day.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, like a guy like Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
Because Ben Wallace was, I mean, he was a tiny, like, he was like 6'9" or 6'8". Like,
yeah. He wasn't that tall, 6'9".
Yeah, a little bit of different. Okay, Aaron Judge, you know what? I think that's a good one to kick it off, because I actually think that there's like a lot of credibility to that.
Now, the reason I put him as football, and I just go off the argument that I made about LeBron and being like, oh, what if?
Yeah.
I understand LeBron played high school football as well, so there's a level of toughness. But
sure,
to be frank, over the course of his 20-plus year career, there have been moments where you're like,
well,
does he really have the ability to take a safety hit down the middle? You know, that's the biggest question. And I think Aaron Judge probably has, one, the mass to take on a hit like that.
He does.
And two, he hasn't shown yet to be not tough. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is thick. I mean, he's not big dumper. He kind of is big dumper as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Aaron Judge. All right, I have no problem with that. I'll allow it. All right, I got one here. I'm going to the basketball world. Okay, and then I'm going to go to I'm going to take this guy to a sport that maybe is not as popular as it used to be. Okay, Russell Westbrook. All right, let me throw this up. This is just a little bit of highlight. Hold on. This is just a little bit. I'll add a little bit of clips of Russell Westbrook play. Russell Westbrook, I believe, could be a fantastic boxer. Okay.
Whoa.
He's 6'4", 210. He's got that lanky frame. He's got that crazy wingspan. But the reason being is his explosiveness and his toughness. Like, you see some of these highlights right here. He is one of the most, if not the most explosive point guards that we've ever seen in the NBA. You know, maybe he doesn't have, you know, the certain skills that other point guards had, but I think he has this athletic ability that would translate to boxing. Okay. He's also kind of got this like kind of crazy side a little bit. There's a little bit of a wild side that I think would translate pretty well to boxing. And just that fast twitch muscle fiber, long wingspan right there, a little bit of craziness. I'm going to put him in the boxing world. What do you think?
That's interesting. Boxing, was not expecting that to be the call.
Look at me.
You know, maybe that was my tunnel vision. I was thinking, because I'd mentioned this on the show before, when he had hawked a few balls with the Nuggets and everything on defense and playing like just like through the roof effort on his part on defensive side. So I was thinking like, oh, okay, this guy would actually be a solid safety with his size, range, athleticism, all that kind of stuff. And to your point, like, yeah, there have been, and I think his tweet said it as well, but there have been some stupid athletic point guards over the past 15, 20 years. So you got D Rose, who I was considering throwing on this. You got Ja Morant, who I was also considering throwing on this as being guys who could probably translate to DB realm in the NFL. But the boxing one's interesting. I'm curious. You know, he has the explosiveness in his legs. And I think that's where the differentiator would be. Outside, like in addition to his crazy. I think those two things might actually be pretty solid.
Yeah, I think so. Here's another thing. It's maybe a little bit morbid, but there is some reality to it. Like we've seen in the past, who does well in boxing over the generation, like over the 20th century. And it's typically people who have like tough childhoods. Okay. And I don't know exactly how tough his childhood was. He did grow up in Long Beach, California, which, you know, could be kind of tough. But one of the things that's like kind of prominent about him is how he lost his best friend as a child. or as like a teenager, and he wears like his initials on a wristband there or something. So you got like this is like such a common thing in the boxing world because it's such a violent sport. It's such a hey, I'm in the ring with this guy, like you're really coming from nothing trying to come up. And so also just those kind of elements make me think, okay, he does that adds to the mentality of what makes a boxer successful. And so I think, be kind of a tall boxer. I mean, what's 210 pounds.
I think that's heavyweight.
That is a heavyweight.
Yeah. So he would
That actually,
I think he would have to slim down because I don't think he's going to survive in a heavyweight bout.
you're right. That's you know what, that would be the problem. He would have to lose 20 pounds. You know what? Ooh,
it's crazy though, because I mean, from outside looking in, I know like I'm not super versed in boxing, but you got like the Tyson Furies who are gargantuan humans that don't look like Adonises, but their footwork is off the charts. Their speed, it doesn't necessarily as a average, consumer or viewer, you don't necessarily understand that and you don't see it. But when they're in the ring, I know that the boxers say that his footwork is off the charts. So like, I think the only edge Russell would have if he were to remain in heavyweight would be if he just truly utilized his entire footwork, his entire explosivity in the lower half. But it would have to really, it would have to be trained to such a degree that it surpasses guys like a Fury, because he'd have to move around like a water bug, like Mayweather does.
Mayweather does, yeah. He would have to like box like that actually.
Lewis and Clark on the mind.
There you go. You can't stop thinking about the Oregon Trail. Which I like, I like that. I just went over a little bit of the Oregon Trail path myself. Okay, yeah, that's a great point, because what's Tyson Fury? He's like 6'8", like 280 or something.
Monster.
So he would have to slim down, or he'd have to box like that. Okay, maybe not as strong as your Aaron Judge one, sure. All right, who do you got next?
Okay, number 2 here, like called low-hanging fruit, but this is a guy you got to keep talking about, is Tyreek Hill. Obviously, there was this video that was going out, his route running, his speed, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he's doing it against ghosts and air and all that kind of stuff. So everything looks so much faster and so much smoother than it would be in gameplay. But that right there, dude is like 5'8", and he's yamming.
Okay, hold on. I was going to actually say I was a little bit, unimpressed. He barely dunked that on the goalpost.
He's 5'8".
Well, still, it looks like he barely got up there, dude. It looks like me. That's like how I dunk on the goalpost.
Yeah, but the biggest question is like, at what point throughout the training did he do this? Is he gassed? Is he all that kind of stuff? This is post running, like hard, 100%. You're going out
making excuses.
Yeah,
okay, wait, hold on. What sport are you putting him in?
Right, that's what I'm getting to. He could translate to a number of sports, but I think the one that he would be most effective is soccer. We talked about this. Deigo Luna. We were talking about this in the CONCACAF and everything like that, how he's risen to prominence. He's a smaller statured dude. I think he's like 5'4", just mini dude, water bug on the soccer field. If Tyreek Hill got the footwork down to handle the ball, no one's catching him. No one is catching him laterally or vertically. This dude would just blow people away. I would also put it as a secondary sport. You're gonna cringe. But this guy would be one of the most effective wingers on a rugby pitch of all time as well.
He does.
He has the football mentality. He has the football aggressiveness. Yeah, he probably hasn't tackled all that much in his life, but it doesn't matter when you're coming from an aggressive sport and going into another aggressive sport. That already puts you a league ahead of most people, if not all. So him coming in with that athleticism, him being a winger, I think he would even be one of the most effective sevens players of all time. I know we're talking about flag football entering into the Olympics and all that kind of stuff, but I think if he went on to the USA sevens team, dude would get tries all day.
Tries, for those who don't know, that's basically the touchdown of rugby. Okay.
Literal touchdown. That's where the name touchdown came from.
You touch it down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like that a lot. And this kind of brings it back to what we've talked about on the show a few times, is like the United States has this pool of athletes who choose to play different sports. But if like a guy like Tyreek with that athletic skill set chose to play soccer from a young age coming up and was developing his footwork, he'd be like a Pele. Like he'd just be, like, you look at like Lionel Messi. Granted, he has perhaps the greatest footwork we've ever seen. Yeah. And he is fast, but he's soccer fast. I don't think he's as fast as Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. What Tyreek ran like a 10-1 the other
he ran
day?
something like a 10-1. Yeah.
But, and he's not even training for it. So that's what I'm saying, is if you put him on a pitch and you have even like average to slightly above average footwork.
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Tyreek Hill. This is a good one right here. All right. My next one's kind of weird. Okay. And I don't know if you're going to consider it a sport, dude. Okay.
Okay.
I, I,
Okay.
don't- I don't know if you're going to consider it a sport. Um, and before I share it, okay, I'm going to tell you who it is. And then I want you to try and guess what sport I'm going to convert him to.
You are
Right?
so obscure today.
I'm obscure as hell. I'm going niche, just niche. It's going to be you. I'm going to bust out like
Just really hitting that European.
We're going so Euro, dude. No, actually, no. What I'm bringing right now is the most American thing that we can do. All right. See that American flag over your shoulder?
Yeah.
George Kittle. Okay.
Oh.
George Kittle. What do you think I'm going to say?
Highland
anything?
Games.
What?
The Highland Games.
No, it's Scottish, dude. I actually went to a Highland Games. Okay.
Crazy.
About an hour east of Inverness, Scotland. And it is very, very crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about niche sports. No, I am putting George Kittle. And again, I don't know if you're going to count it as a sport. WWE. Okay. Okay. This is him. This was in February. He actually jumped into the ring back in like a few months ago, earlier in the year, and the crowd loved him. Reason being, obviously, he has all the athletic ability. Like he has the physical characteristics, but the personality, dude. This is something that we're probably not going to talk about on this list that much, but that. I don't, I shouldn't call it a sport. What do we want to call it? Entertainment event. There is athletic ability in it.
Yeah.
He has that personality that would absolutely thrive in this. He also has the look, dude. Like he just looks like one of those guys. Just sort of he just looks like a guy from a movie that just, the
aesthetic.
He's got the aesthetic.
Yeah.
For this. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? Also, am I stretching it here to call it a sport?
I love this pick. Totally out of left field. Wasn't expecting it, but it makes 100% sense. The guy has the charisma, the character to absolutely take this on and take it to the next level. In terms of physique, I don't think he looks like The Rock, but it's good enough to where he could get things done. And his athleticism, as you're talking about, would take it to the next level. It's really, this one's really hard to call it a sport, but at the same time, it puts into question, like they do a lot of athletic feats, a lot of stunts that can be considered like gymnastics-esque.
Right.
So that then begs the question, is gymnastics a sport because it's choreographed similarly?
Okay, but yes, but it's, yeah, I guess it is choreographed in all of the events. I was just thinking, like, you're thinking of just the floor event, but no, actually every event is pretty choreographed. Like
Yeah, all your moves. It's not you're not playing against another opponent or anything like that. So this is why a lot of those sports, like you have to wonder, and this is where like the gray area is, because if it's choreographed, you still have to do the physical feat, which is insane, and that's athletic. But is it considered a sport?
You can't. All right, I think that we would consider gymnastics a sport. It's in the Olympics, for goodness sakes. Okay, so it is a sport, and so that precedent is set.
Well, ribbon twirling was in the Olympics not too long ago either. Okay. So is that really the defining?
You got me there. You got me there. Okay. They're cleaning up the Olympics. Okay. They're cleaning it up. They got rid of ribbon twirling. Sorry to all of our ribbon twirling fans.
Breakdancing.
Sorry. Yeah. Breakdancing. That's going to be out. But so, yeah, if there's something that is choreographed, there's a precedent set that it is a sport. Of course it's a sport. It's in the Olympics right there. And it's it's also a college sport.
Yeah.
So with that argument, WWE could also be a sport.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up, because that's where I see WWE falling into. It's a choreographed athletic feat that happens to have a far more front-facing entertainment value aspect to it.
Okay, there we go. All right, so George Kittle, I think, would thrive in that environment, and part of me feels like he's going to enter into that once he retires from football, if his body still holds up.
Him and Tyrese.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Your next one, Scott. I'm curious what sport you're putting him in. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot.
Yeah, this is a Golden Domer sort of pick, but I think it's absolutely one of the sleeper picks of all time. Is Kyle Hamilton coming out? He's still very young in the league, but his explosion and performance so far has been unbelievable. He's a bigger statured safety. Right. He's coming in like, shoot, what is his height? He's 6'4". Yep. He's got a 33-inch wingspan, a 33-inch arm, 220. His hands over 9 inches long. So this dude is a freak of nature on the football field.
Yeah.
What I think he could translate best to, and I don't know why he's not in the conversations, is basketball. I think this guy could be insanely effective. We're looking at dudes like Anthony Edwards, who isn't necessarily the tallest guy in the world,
Right.
but he is insanely effective on the basketball court. And I think Kyle Hamilton's aggression, his athleticism, his size, everything would translate incredibly well to the basketball court. And I mean, even looking at his stats, his combine stats and results, I mean, the dude runs a sub 4.640. He jumps 38 inches as his vert, so he can play above the rim. His broad jumps almost 11 feet.
His broad jump's crazy. I'm looking at it too.
Yeah, and then you look at his 3-cone drill, which, if you don't know, is an insane indicator of just change of direction, speed, acceleration. It's 6.9 seconds. This guy is a total package. I think he would be wildly effective on a basketball court. And to our point earlier, if he doesn't put the ball in the bucket, from mid to 3-point range, he could dunk it, and he could also play insane defense with the aggression that he brings because he plays defense in the NFL and
he'd be
physical defense.
One of the few people to put the effort in on defense in the NBA. I like this pick a lot. Like I'm trying to push back on your picks, but I love it. I'm a huge Kyle Hamilton fan, dude.
Yeah,
he is incredible, and we're not just saying that because he's a Notre Dame alum. Okay, he is just unbelievable. He was a first team All Pro in 2023. I think. What was that? His second year in the league.
Yeah,
I think it was. Just dude, he's so rangy, dude. Like we were looking at those highlights. I mean, I can pull him back. Like he just does all sorts of stuff. He's in the backfield making sacks. He's, covering deep balls.
Don't like this one.
Ooh, sorry, Brownies. Yeah, you better get used to that.
Yeah. Coming off the edge. I mean, closing down like that is insane. I think it's one of the latter. Oh my gosh.
Like
again.
Kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yes. Right there. That might be the most athletic move safeties can make, coming off the edge like that, intercepting and running while catching.
I mean, even right there, just like the strength, but like just there's so much versatility here in this highlight.
Yeah.
In this little highlight clip, and that just speaks to his game. So, yeah, dude, I think he could probably be a first team all defense in the NBA right now, and let him practice dribbling for a little bit. I don't know if I feel like he probably played basketball in high school. I don't know. I was trying to look at his Wikipedia. It doesn't say anything about it, but he's too good of an athlete. He was tall. Like, don't you think this is the type of guy who would be playing basketball in high school?
He definitely did. There's you don't have an athlete like that in your stable and not utilize him across multiple sports. So he's insane. But that's why I like this pick, and that's why I was super juiced, because it's like he doesn't get the love that he probably should deserve. Granted, I understand safety isn't like the most illustrious or fame-inducing sort of position, but it should be getting way more love than it ever does. And Cooper DeJean, for as good as he is, we've seen his highlights. I wanted to throw him on here, but I thought Kyle Hamilton would actually translate much better to the basketball court.
Yeah. Well, because also Kyle Hamilton's a little bit taller, a little bit lankier.
Yeah.
He's got that also. Okay, I like that a lot. All right, I'm going with another football one, dude. Okay. All right. And it is going to be our boy, Christian McCaffrey.
Nice.
Okay. Which I think Christian played a lot of sports in high school. Like he was a basketball player, track athlete. And this right here you see, like
that's nuts.
These clips go really viral of his training because he trains like a sprinter. What I'm going to put him in, dude, is track and field, specifically the decathlon. Okay. The 10 event decathlon you are doing here. Let me read the events that you got. You got the 100-meter dash, long jump, shot put, high jump, 400-meter dash, and then you've got the 110 hurdles, the discus throw, the pole vault, the javelin throw, and what would probably be the hardest is the 1500-meter.
Mikey loves that one.
Yeah, Mikey loves that. Oh, yeah, heel walk. Too bad Mikey's not in there. He'd be going crazy. Oh, heel walk, dude. That's all success comes from heel walks. But I think that Christian is such a unique athlete. Like we've seen him, just how fast he is. Like he did run high school track. He was an all-state track runner in like the 100-meter and in the sprints. 400, that comes, it's a little bit of a different type of sprinter body that usually has success in the 400. But with these decathlete guys, like a lot of them are 5'10" to 6'2". Christian's 5'11", 6 feet. Yeah. He's kind of right there in that range. And he just has that combination of skills where I think he would do quite solidly across all of those track and field events. Maybe the discus would be tough just because he's smaller, but granted, all these decathletes are they have to be smaller because they have to be able to go over hurdles. They have to be able to run 1,500 meters. And
Yeah.
I just think in terms of a complete athlete, like a guy who would do well at recess in any sports, well, those are your good decathletes. What do you think?
Yeah, he's picked first for all the teams. That's for sure. If he's not picking,
Yes.
I would say that's a dude. You are going
Dude,
way left field with this.
I am so obscure. I am so obscure with my. Just wait, I have another really obscure one.
Well, I love this pick because I was actually considering throwing him on in place of Tyreek Hill for being a soccer potential. Like he has the skills and his versatility. Like I've seen a lot of these videos that have gone viral and all this kind of stuff, and I know he focuses on being as dynamic as possible in his athletic endeavors, and it's shown in his past. So I think if he had played soccer, he would be wildly effective. In his footwork is probably, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he's kicked the boot around a little bit.
I mean, yeah, he does all sorts of obscure training. Who knows what kind of things? He's got this crazy trainer out of Colorado who just like does all these things. And I don't know. I mean, I think that's also why he's just such a complete running back and also one of the most versatile running backs that we've ever seen. Like, he gives comparisons to guys like Priest Holmes and LaDainian Tomlinson, who are renowned for their versatility. And it's just because you have like those different skill sets and those different athletic abilities, dude.
His center of gravity is ridiculous. I mean,
yes,
I know the past year we've been talking about Ashton Genty and how his center of gravity is wild, being a smaller stature dude, but I get the feeling, because he's probably been quote unquote injury prone, or at least perceived as injury prone in his NFL career. Christian McCaffrey needs a little more flowers for what he's done on the football field and what he does for a team. He's insanely dynamic. I mean, the receiving and rushing dual threat in that.
I mean, dude, like the 49ers are a completely different offense when he's not playing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to try and pull a positive out of like having to be on the sideline due to some injury sometimes, it's that it reveals just how much he is the engine of the offense and like makes Brock Purdy comfortable. But I think this last thing on this, speaking of that center of gravity, I think that'll help in the pole vault, which is one of the events. Okay. All right. So Christian, get out there, start practicing the pole vault. So my take ends up being good. All right. So we got Christian McCaffrey in the decathlete.
My next guy, I don't have a link here, but if you could Google him, pull him up. This guy, I also think falls in the cracks. Granted, I think he gets a little more praise because he's coupled with the biggest star in all of basketball and maybe all of sports in LeBron James at this current point in time. But Austin Reaves, I want to put him on this list because I think this guy, he's out there playing the Lake Tahoe tournament right now. Seen him swing a golf club. But it's not golf that I think he would be most effective at if he were to change sports. It's tennis. I think this guy's smooth, methodical athleticism would translate insanely well. As we're watching Wimbledon, as Novak is facing off against Sinner here, I think today, shortly. I think Austin Reaves could be insanely effective because he's also got the length, he's got the height. That serve coming from, it would probably be 10, 11 feet with the racket coming from that angle. I think if he was able to play that game and really tighten it down, I think he could be insanely effective. And also he's got the mentality. This dude was undrafted and is now playing for the USA team. He's now one of the names that's become household in definitely down here in Southern California. He's beloved by so many fans just because of his effort, his mindset, his ability to grow as an athlete. We've seen him get so much better. I think he would be so effective in an individual sport such as tennis for all those reasons.
Okay. He's got, how tall is he? 6'5", isn't he?
I think he might be a little taller than that.
Really? So, let me look him up. Because we were just talking about the other day about the lankiness of some of these, like Ben Shelton.
Yeah.
Let me see. Austin Reaves. Let's see what he is. Hold on.
Keep watching the highlights.
He's 6'5". He's 6'5".
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, still, that's
like the same sort of lankiness as a guy like Ben Shelton.
Yeah.
I like, so dude, I mean, okay, not as obscure as my sports. We have a major going on right now with Wimbledon. But, it's not one of the big 3, big 4 leagues that you're putting Austin Reaves into.
Yeah.
I like it, dude. I don't know. I mean, but I would wonder because, and I guess you can make the same argument like with Tyreek Hill with the soccer footwork is his racket skills, dude. I mean, that's something that I feel like you have to have from age 8,
Yeah.
He's got the athletic ability maybe, but what's his racket skills going to be like?
Right. That's where that's where it gets a little gray with us like choosing this, because some of the sports do require like a decade of training before you can become
Sure.
like competent in the sport.
Yeah.
But I think with his innate athletic ability, his lateral movement, side to side, all that kind of stuff, I think he would be able to pick it up well enough to be very effective. And if he had started in high school or before that, I think he could be absolutely lethal on the tennis court. So similar situation with CMC or a Tyreek. Granted, you could rely on your athleticism a little more and like maybe get lucky with kicking a ball like really hard and getting it past a goalie because you're just way faster than everybody and more agile. Tennis, agreed. You have to have the articulation, as I've been saying, the ball skills, the racket skills, and you have to also have the hand-eye coordination, at least up to a certain degree, to be able to return a serve or return a rally.
Did you see, because there's the Wimbledon going? Do you know who Bill Ackman is?
Yeah. You mean the billionaire?
The billionaire.
Yeah. Bill Ackman.
Did you see that people are saying on Twitter he like bribed his way into this like professional tournament and he played doubles with some legitimate pros? I think I had a clip, dude. I gotta find it. But he's getting absolutely roasted because he went in there and he's like talks about like, yeah, I play tennis all the time. You know, I'm a competent tennis player. And he went in there. It was just horrible, just obliterated. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. That thing was ripping the internet yesterday. It's just like, yeah, of course he bought his way in. The billionaire is getting into the MMA and all the fighting, and then now trying to get into tennis. It's like,
hey,
okay.
Zuck, he's making some I heard this about when Zuckerberg goes into those like, well, what does he do? He does those jujitsu matches.
Yeah.
And he said on a podcast that when he's doing, they're like amateur matches. And so it's just like a guy who's like, you know, a plumber during the week. And then he's doing this match on the weekend. And Zuckerberg like wears a mask all the way up right until he goes out onto the mat. And all of a sudden this poor plumber gets out there and goes, oh, I'm going to like psychological terrorism right there.
Yeah. What do you do? I mean, this guy's a billionaire. He could buy me 10,000 times over. And if I hurt him, what then? Like, you're in trouble.
Your Facebook account is going to be banned. Okay. Do not pin Zuckerberg. All right. Here's my next one. I guess this one's also kind of low hanging fruit because it's been in the conversation and his dad was a great baseball player. Patrick Mahomes as an MLB pitcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Super low hanging fruit because he was a great baseball player in high school. He probably could have played professional baseball if he just continued on that path. Look at this arm strength right here. Apparently he was pitching in the low 90s in high school. He was drafted. Granted, you know, half of the high school athletes in America are drafted in the MLB draft. He was drafted in the 37th round. But I do think he's obviously got the genetics. He's got that, obviously the arm strength. But what he has, like if you watch Quarterback the first season when Mahomes was in it, they talked about like his twist power, how he has such an insane equilibrium where he has almost the same power going left and going right.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that could also translate into being like a switch hitter also, if you were to get into that. So I'm going to go Mahomes to baseball. What do you think? I know it's low hanging fruit. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, no, this one's legitimate. This one's like not hypothetical, speculative as LeBron going and playing in the NFL. This one actually has credence because he is, and he's on record as being a legitimate baseball player, similar to Russell Wilson, like very similar to Russell in that respect. And there have been a couple of guys even outside of him, but what always comes to mind is I talk about Aaron Judge probably choosing baseball due to contractual reasons, longevity, all that kind of stuff. And then you got like dudes from the early 2000s, another Notre Damer, Jeff Samardzija, who easily could have gone in the NFL as a wide receiver, very effective, tall dude, but chose to go into the MLB as a pitcher and had an effective career with the Cubbies. So like, I totally understand guys making that decision, but there are a lot of crossover. And I think Mahomes is a perfect pick. He could easily go into the MLB. I would be curious to see what he's slinging the rock at right now, or the pebble.
The pebble. Yeah. So would I. I wonder if he would still be throwing at like low 90s because it is obviously like a different mechanic with throwing a baseball, but there are a lot of the same, muscle groups there and all the training that he's done. Also, just being able to throw off script and all these like sidearm thing, like there's just such a unique skill set there. So I'm going to go with those. However, I'm really happy that he chose to be a football player because he almost like reinvented the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Like making it okay to throw sidearm and to go off script and all the stuff. He's been like an artist in the position and sort of redefine it, which I don't know he would do if he was playing baseball. Like he could be like a traditional pitcher. Who knows?
Yeah, you're a little more confined in the dynamics of the game of baseball from that position. So like I get that.
There's not as much creativity to be had as a baseball pitcher as there is as an NFL quarterback.
Well,
what?
Talk about articulation. I mean,
what?
The movement, the pitches, you can create something like the splinker, like Paul Skeens. But yes, I get your point.
But also you're not rolling out to the left and turning back and throwing across your body. Gotcha, batter. Gotcha.
So long as your foot's on that mound and on the plate there.
I wonder, what is the rule? If you get a running start and jump, it's like a 3-pointer. If you like jump from behind the plate on the mound and land forward or land this, does it still count as a legal pitch?
I got to imagine that scenario would end up like Tropic Thunder, or not Tropic Thunder, Semi-Pro, where he dunks for the first time.
Great movie, by the way.
All right, Mahomes. I think that would be a balk, though. I have to think that they would call that a balk, but I don't know the answer.
All right, who knows? Okay. Give me your last one here, Scott. I'm going to try and pull up a thing on that.
Okay, I mentioned him. I mentioned him earlier as being a potential for translating to the game. Anthony Edwards. This dude, he's the size. He's about 6'6", probably packing 220, athletic as hell. This guy, for all intents and purposes, reminds us of his game like MJ, like Kobe. He's got that mental aspect, that mental edge. Granted, he hasn't come through in the playoffs yet. He hasn't put him over the edge, so you can't put him in that realm just yet. But I think he has the potential to be a very, very effective wide receiver in the NFL. I think if he worked on his footwork, his route running, I think he has the hands, the athletic ability to get on the football field and make something happen. And I know I'm focusing a lot on NBA and NFL, but I think he's one of those guys that you have to at least look at, especially if we're looking at LeBron.
Scott, you have no respect for niche sports. Luckily, I bring the respect for the niche sports to this program.
What are you talking about? I was talking about rugby sevens.
Well, okay, that's one. And that, that doesn't count. We each
tennis,
have bias. Tennis. What? Wimbledon's going on right now. It's all over the TV. That's not niche. Come on.
Well, the decathlon ends up on TV once every 4 years.
It does. Yeah. Shout out to the Olympics. But that's niche. Decathlon, that's not even one of the highlight events within track and field, which itself is a niche.
Because it's like a full day.
Nick the niche sports lover right here. Okay. Ant Edwards. Yeah, I like this. I mean, he also comes up a lot in these conversations since he's just got that athletic ability. Just the wingspan here. Like, that's crazy. That's over Holmgren right there, who's 7'1". Yeah. Granted, Holmgren's about 110 pounds.
Giraffe.
He does show that. Yeah, you're Giraffe. There you go. As he's known around Scott's house. The household name.
The Whiskey
Ant
Willow.
Edwards. I do like that one. All right, let me give you my last one, and it is niche as hell. All right. I'm on my niche stuff today, Scott. Max Verstappen.
Whoa.
Okay. Who we just talked about in the previous episode. Obviously, all the stuff going down with Red Bull and Christian Horner getting sacked as the team principal. What sport do you think I'm going to put Max Verstappen in, dude?
Oh, man. I understand the reflexes are off the charts for F1 guys, and we always see the stick drop thing and the light popping.
Yeah, the stick drop thing. Yeah, all those crazy training things.
And then, how strong is an F1 driver's neck?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was going to pull up is Max Verstappen working on his neck curls. Okay, it was an impressive. I should have pulled it up.
So I would have to say, based off of neck strength and reflexes, maybe you'd go boxing again because you may be coming out of left field. But I would say the safe bet is I'm going to guess golf.
Okay, that's interesting. Maybe he would be good at golf. I'm going with slalom skiing. Okay, dude, show some respect. Okay, my wife is from the mountains. All right, it's a sport, and it's also, guess what? It's in the Olympics, the Winter Olympics. All right, I'm going real. All right. The reflexes are unbelievable. And when you see the reflexes of these F1 drivers, and Max Verstappen's at the top of that list, it is unbelievable. And you even compare it to other professional athletes. Like, you've seen other athletes try and do that stick drop thing, and they just can't even do it. And these guys do it so casually here. And just the reflexes needed in the I'll say it, kind of the balls to go down a mountain at full speed. You're hitting like 80 miles per hour down the mountain, shedding in and out of the slalom on the slalom ski slope right there. I think that he would actually be pretty damn good. He's also European. Granted, he's from the Netherlands, not a mountainous region, but it's just a short drive down to the Alps. He could have gone there. Could have gone there on school breaks and gone skiing with his family. I think he'd be great. Also, the really successful slalom skiers are, between 5'8" and 5'10". He's 5'11", 160. Like the size works right there. And I actually think it would be a complete slowdown for him compared to the speed that he faces in F1 and the reflexes that he has to display on that. Slalom skiing, Scott. Okay. I know we don't talk about it that much, but maybe we should. What do you think?
Wow. Look, I got nothing on slalom skiing. Don't know anything about it besides very brutal on your knees.
Yes.
The one thing is, I think this is a missed opportunity on your part. If you're sticking to winter games and Olympic winter games at that, or X Games, I don't know, bobsled. This guy in a cockpit doing the little doot, doot, doot,
yes.
This guy could be really effective.
Dude, that was actually kind of my other one that I was thinking about. But just because he's on I know he's on a set track in Formula One, but I don't know. I just thought it'd be more impressive to translate to slalom skiing. Although bobsled is insane, I actually think that he would be very good at that because it's actually probably kind of similar to Formula One. You got to take those curves. You got to be able to withstand the G forces. You got to have the really strong neck. Give me Max Verstappen, Winter Olympics 2028. Actually, Winter Olympics are in 2026, coming up soon. All right, Max? Yeah, we got summer in 2028. Okay, so there we have it. Our lists. Mine, a little bit more niche than yours.
Little bit.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. You have one more. You have an honorable mention.
I do. Okay.
All right. Because what the hell are you going to pull out of your hat for this?
Well, this one would be really interesting because I don't think it's like a surprise and people have always talked about it. First off, Steph Curry has been named as being one of those guys because he's played on the Korn Ferry Tour. Like he's a legitimate golfer and very good at that. Aaron Rodgers is another one of those guys. He has performed very, very well on the golf course. He has that psycho tunnel vision mindset of a quarterback that he can bring to the golf course. He's got the core strength that a quarterback needs in order to sling the rock as hard as he does. He can bring that to his golf swing. Apparently, he's one of the better current athletes that can play golf. You got Tony Romo, who's apparently incredible as well. Might even be better than him. But I'm talking about current athletes. I think he could go play probably in the senior tour. I think more of these guys like Steph and Aaron, once they retire, should actually consider going and playing golf on the senior tour and see if they can actually make it. Because you can continue your endeavors and your sports career. That would be really cool to see translate here beyond.
Dude, this might be my favorite one because you have seen how great he actually is at golf. Also, Aaron Rodgers, one of the criticisms about him is maybe he's a little bit of kind of a selfish guy, he's 31, unmarried,
is he?
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Well, hold on.
We don't know.
He did say he got married this offseason and then his family said, no, he didn't. So who knows he's Aaron Rodgers? Either way, maybe known as a little bit of a sort of a selfish guy, sort of to himself in some of these respects. Golf's an individual sport. He does have that psycho mentality too, I think, where he's like, I'm just better. I'm just going to play better than everybody. Another thing, he looks really good in golf gear. He fits in. I mean, put that, I'm going to throw that back up.
We would need his infusion. I think the back and forth. I think the back and forth between him and a Brooks Koepka or a Bryson DeChambeau would be absolutely perfect for the game of golf. And then you have the steady Eddie of Scotty Scheffler to where he's like, he's not ruffling feathers here and there. I think the infusion of an Aaron Rodgers into the tour would be great. Because even here, I love the fact, because first off, I find it very weird when grown men wear jerseys of other grown men with their names on the back. I also find it very weird when grown men grovel and ask for other grown men, regardless of how famous or how good they are at a sport, asking for their autograph. Weird, dude. Just weird.
Yeah, that's what this tweet says. Aaron Rodgers called out an autograph hound and refused to sign his gear at a golf course. Kept going back and forth with the guy, testing him to see if he was an actual fan of his. Hold on. Let me play the audio on this.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what he's testing the fan on. Like if he's testing him, what he knows about it. Let's see.
You guys blew him out. Good job, man. Talking to somebody with a great name.
I remember the score. It was a blowout.
You remember the score?
Yeah.
Who did we play?
Saints.
Yeah, good. It's on the ticket.
It is. I can tell you the score, I think.
Thank you. You can tell the score?
I think it was looked at 50-3.
Did I
52?
play?
One pass.
How many plays, though?
A couple of passes? A couple? I don't remember that. I remember you threw a pass.
Who did I throw? Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember like that. I was 16, 20 years ago.
Oh, it's actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
You got a great memory.
You could look it up, though. Then I would believe you, then I would sign your thing. Since I don't believe you, I'm not going to sign it. Okay.
Now, I mean, I was at the game.
Oh, that guy just.
You personalize it.
You're an autograph hound.
No.
Yeah, you are. You can't fool me. You can't fool me.
You're an autograph hound. That guy's so defeated. You can personalize it. All right, there you go, Aaron Rodgers. All right, that's it. That's so embarrassing for that guy, dude. And then that tweet just goes viral. Ooh, the good work on the cameraman to pan back to the guy in the final seconds of the clip. Okay, here we have. That's good. I like that. We have a pretty solid list. We have some major sports. We have some niche sports. We're sprinkling it sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite from your list that you really think would have a lot of that would be the most likely to have success?
Yeah, I want to pat myself on the back for the Kyle Hamilton. I think he's so niche, and give a shout out to the Notre Dame Golden Domers. You know, you got to support the team.
There you go. There you go. Go Fighting Irish. I'm gonna go. I mean, I think George Kittle for sure would have success in that, but because we had the controversy of is it a sport or not, I'm gonna go Christian. I think he'd be a great decathlete. He might have to lose like 15 pounds, drop off a little bit of muscle.
Yeah.
That will be the thing. Just for some of those, but I think he would do. I would think he would do solid on that. All right, so there we have it. Our top 5 athletes who we think would excel in other sports. If you guys have any athletes or a list of your own that you think would do well in different sports, put them in the comments. Let us know what you liked from ours and what you didn't like from ours. Thank you for watching, everybody, and we will see you on the next one.